Bill for creation of state police scales second reading in Nigeria's House of Representatives. Guinea military junta freezes accounts dissolved government members. Kogi gubernatorial election petition. Of course, we have more headlines concerning the fuel subsidy, palliative and others right here on Politics HQ. Tonight on Politics HQ, we have a fantastic conversation for you, and of course, from the latest in the polity as far as the Nigerian situation is concerned. Politics in Edo State is the gift that keeps giving, and of course, we have more drama to keep us busy till the next set of dramas. The latest is that the Independent National Electoral Commission has been speaking as to which of the 3 governorship candidates that the APC produced they will be accepted. We'll look at the unfolding drama in the APC in Edo State. Still tonight, we have a discussion on Nigeria's economic situation, and we delve into the escalating economic crisis in the country, marked by soaring inflation rates and a sharp depreciation of the national currency. From the street protests, we have a lot of this going on in Ibadan, your state, and other parts of the country due to the price of food in the country. People are saying that they can't take it anymore. We'll discuss this and others when we return. This is Politics HQ. Stay with us. Welcome. Saturday's All Progressives Congress governorship primary in Edo State descended into chaos with 3 separate individuals declared winner. The situation has cast a shadow over the party's internal democratic process and has also raised concerns about the potential manipulation. Governor Uzodinma of Imo State declared the House of Representatives member Dennis Idahosa the winner of those primaries with 40,453 votes. However, conflicting results emerged when another returning officer, Stanley Ugboaja, he was the returning officer for that election, announced Monday Okpebholo as winner of the primary with 12,145 votes. The election, the counting started at Lushville hotels but ended up at the residence of one of the aspirants who had earlier said he withdrew, Pastor Osagie Ize-Iyamu. Now, adding to the confusion, where we thought we had seen everything, the local government returning officers, led by Ojo Babatunde, declared one Anamero Dekeri as the winner with 25,384 votes. All right, and of course, amidst this disarray, the APC's National Chairman, Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje, some will say preemptively, congratulated Idahosa, one of the 3, for securing the party's governorship flag-bearership. Now, this move further inflamed the tensions with aggrieved APC stakeholders led by Emmanuel Godwin, accusing Uzodinma of prematurely declaring the winner before the completion of collation. And those stakeholders rejected the results and appealed to President Bola Tinubu and indeed the party national chairman, Abdullahi Ganduje, to disregard it. Also, we hear yesterday, the resident electoral commissioner of the state, Dr. Nubum Onoha, said that INEC, that's Nigeria's Independent National Electoral Commission, will only recognize the primary elections conducted at the venues authorized by the national leadership of the political parties. Now, he emphasized that as per the Supreme Court's decision, only the national leadership of any party in Nigeria, political party, has the authority to determine the venue for the primary elections and not the state leadership. Now, in the case of Edo State, the venue communicated to INEC by the APC's national leadership was Lushville Hotels and Suites. However, Imo State Governor Uzodinma, who was appointed by the same party to chair the Edo State Primary Election Committee, announced Dennis Idahosa as the winner at Protea Hotel in Benin City. So where do we go from here? Don't forget that during the announcement, the state returning officer Stanley Ugboaja declared Monday Okpebholo as winner at the residence, not at Lushville Hotel, but at the residence of Pastor Osagie Ize-Iyamu. We want to introduce our guest tonight. Kasim Afegbua is a member of the All Progressives Congress, Nigeria's ruling party. He is in Abuja. He'll join us later. Paul Stanislaus is a legal practitioner, a lawyer. He joins us via video link from Abuja. Paul, it's good to have you on the program tonight. As far as you're concerned, let's start from here. INEC's resident electoral commissioner in Edo State has said what he said, I just read. The party appointed Hope Uzodinma, who was the chair of that election committee. If INEC says we're going to take the results announced at the venue communicated to us, and the party chairman, national chairman, presents the name of somebody else, what do you think is going to play out? Which one would INEC pick in your estimation? Paul?
Yes, my apologies. We're in Nigeria, so we can understand the issue of power outage. So I just experienced power outage, but of course I will continue. Once power is restored, my video will be up back. Oh. So the law is very clear on what should happen in political parties' conduct of their primaries. The law says that INEC has the power to monitor political parties' primaries for different elective positions. Now, in this particular instance, it is clear that INEC must have deployed their officials in respect of one of the venues of the primaries which has produced these multiple candidates. So Section 84 of the Electoral Act is very clear. It is the venue of the primaries where INEC deploy their officials that will be recognized by INEC. So any other person that is bringing candidates from any other place is not likely to be recognized by INEC, provided, or particularly in a situation where INEC did not deploy officials to monitor such such a primary.
Okay. So I mean, which one are you saying INEC will pick if, for instance, like I said, Ganduje, national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, presents the name of Idahosa, because the chairman of that election, as appointed by the party, was Hope Uzodinma. We all know who he announced as winner. And we all know who the party's national chairman congratulated.
Exactly. So that's the point. If we go by the provision of Section 84 of the Electoral Act, which authorizes INEC to monitor political parties' primaries, whichever mode they choose, by law, they have 3 modes that they can use to elect anybody that they want to sponsor as their candidate, either by direct primaries or indirect primaries or by consensus. Now, once INEC, the political party has communicated to INEC that this is where we intend to use for the election, and INEC deploys their official in that particular or at that particular location, it is a candidate that emerges from the election that was monitored by INEC that INEC will recognize. So all these other candidates, if they cannot show evidence that conclusively shows that INEC monitored their own primaries and declaration of whoever it is that emerged from their own primaries, then I'm sorry, it may be difficult for INEC to recognize their own candidates.
But we've seen, Paul, a reluctance by the Independent National Electoral Commission of Nigeria to interfere with the internal politics of the political parties. For instance, you've had candidates who never contested the original primaries, and then they later had placeholders, or they had a second sort of a primary for the Senate, for instance. The records are there, and INEC just abstained or refrained, just waited for the party to present someone to it, and said, well, whatever the party says, we don't have any business there. As long as it gave us a name, we're taking it. So how do you compare that experience with INEC with what the REC is saying? We've seen that reluctance by INEC to really interfere. If the party says this is our candidate, INEC has said in 2023 elections, that is who we will take. That is what the party gives us. We take it.
Exactly. So that also buttresses the point I'm making, that INEC would own, if a political party says this is the candidate that we are presenting, that candidate must also be a product of an election or a party primary that was monitored by INEC. So if INEC did not monitor the particular primary that produced a particular candidate, then it will be difficult for INEC to recognize any candidate that emerges from that election. We understand that maybe for like what has played out in this issue, where a particular venue was given, but subsequently the declaration was then at different venues. So clearly, none of the candidates emerged from the particular venue that the party actually communicated to INEC. So INEC, in that instance, INEC would then have to rely on the position of the national leadership of the political party.
All right, you've answered my next question. It's quite a situation that INEC said they were told the venue was Lushville Hotels and Suites in Benin City, Edo State. Indeed, our correspondent went there, and the correspondents of all, most of the major television stations were there, News Central Television and others. And of course, thugs came there, they were chased away. Old Hope Uzodinma was nowhere to be found. So can the argument be made? Are you saying that the INEC right now has its hands tied because the results were not announced at Lushville Hotels and Suites? Rather, those who left Lushville went to Pastor Osagie Ize-Iyamu's house, one of the aspirants, although he wrote a letter to resign. Are you saying the INEC will now have to choose what the party gives it?
Absolutely, because now we have seen a situation where the political party, the national leadership of the political party can then say, well, we had communicated to INEC that this was the venue we were to use, but by reason of breach of order, peace and order, as you have clearly reported, we then had to move from that venue to another venue. So then again, if they can also establish that at the time they moved from the initial location that was communicated to INEC to the new location where they then conducted the primaries and declared the winner, that INEC equally followed them and monitored the election there, then I think INEC in that instance is likely to accept whoever they present.
Okay. So just before I introduce your counterpart, Kasim Afegwa, if the point is made, and we know this, that the result the party is likely is for now to present to INEC was not what was started at Lushville Hotels, can the case therefore be made from the previous points you made and from what INEC record said, that what the party will present is not the authentic result, that the one, whether it was done under a trio, whether it was done in Osagie Iyamu's bedroom, they started at Lushville Hotels. That's the one that should be taken. How about that?
But that one that was started there, did INEC deploy officials there? Was it monitored by INEC?
INEC has said that is the one, that is the venue they were told, they were officially written to and told for the end. That's the one they will take, as per the rec.
As per the rec?
Yes.
If the rec has said that, then it puts the national leadership of the party in a position where they would then have to make the necessary clarifications, because if they have communicated to INEC a particular venue, and then for whatever reason the primaries was not conducted in that venue, declaration was not made at that venue, and then maybe INEC official was not deployed in that venue, then the national leadership of the party has an explanation to make to INEC.
All right, I want to bring in at this point Kasim Afegwa, member of the All Progressives Congress. We've been waiting for you. What exactly is going on in your political party, Kasim? You guys can't seem to organize, a smooth internal party primary. And we've seen the records in Zamfara State, in Rivers State, in other parts of the country, division. What specific factors contributed to the conflicting results we've seen in Edo State in the APC primary? Kasim.
Yeah, thank you. Let me quickly correct the point you made that Hope Uzodinma was nowhere to be found. That is not true. Don't be judgmental when you are asking questions. Hope Uzodinma came to Benin as chairman of the election committee, himself, Basiotu, and quite a number of other members of his committee. The Ugboaja of a man, there was no letter appointing him as returning officer, he usurped the function and responsibility of the chairman of the committee of the primaries, because somebody at the headquarters was trying to be clever by half by sending his PA to go and do a job that he was not supposed to do. Ugboaja was a member, listed as a member of the secretariat of the primary, which was headed by Liu Wamba, as the head of the secretariat. Ugboaja Stanley was listed as a member of that and not as a returning officer. If he's branding himself as a returning officer, he's just wasting his time and he's deliberately trying to embarrass the party. But disciplinary measures are going to be taken in-house, having explore all the issues, and appropriate sanctions to be meted out to persons who conspire to embarrass the party. The point must be made.
Kasim, thank you. Just to ask a follow-up question. Thank you very much, Kasim. Yes, thank you very much, Kasim. I'm in charge here. I'll ask you the questions, please. You accuse me of being judgmental, but that is far from the case. We've been following this story since Saturday. We had a reporter at Lushville Hotels and Suites. That's how I know the name of the hotel. He was beaten by political thugs. We don't know who sent them. Our equipment were destroyed. His phone was stolen by one of the thugs on account of the fact that they were, publicizing fake results. But we only went where we were informed was the venue of the primary. And indeed, you had other stations, even NTA. Now, what I asked him was, just so we can know if this is a real, authentic primary, was the chairman of the primary appointed by the party there, Hope Uzodinma? He said no, he didn't see Hope Uzodinma there. So what I've said is Hope Uzodinma was not at Lushville Hotels and Suites. Now, please, if he was there, kindly prove me wrong. I'm not being judgmental. I'm only reporting what our reporter told us. Kasim?
Please listen. There is a time for announcement of results. 1 o'clock was not the time. In a state of Edo that has local governments that you can travel 4 or 5 hours before you get to Benin because of the state of the roads. So somebody cannot start announcing results from 1 o'clock. It is because the guy was carrying out a responsibility for which he was not sent. When it was time for the announcement, Hope Uzodinma would have been there to do the announcement of results. But the guy quickly usurped the function because they were working from answer to question, trying to perfect what they have acted out with someone at the party headquarters. To quickly do that so that they will ambush the process. That's the point. And by the time there was an attack at Lushville Hotel, the party, the committee, the primary committee, that is the primary committee headed by Hope Uzodinma, wrote to INEC immediately to say they are relocating the collation center to Protea Hotel. And INEC acknowledged that, and they all came there, where Hope Uzodinma, who was primarily mandated to do the announcement by virtue of the letter that he was given, which was further re-emphasized by the publicity secretary of the party, that only Hope Uzodinma committee had the power to announce results. So on the basis of that, Hope Uzodinma did the announcement from 4:30 to 5 p.m. in the evening when results had come.
All right.
So
yeah,
anybody who said he is a returning officer, so-called, and relocated what's supposed to be a collation center to the home of a participant, one of the interested parties, that cannot stand in the face of law.
All right. So was Hope Uzodinma at any point on Saturday at Lushville Hotels and Suites?
How could he have gone there when results have not started coming in? He has staff. Don't forget, he has staff. There's a secretariat established for the purpose of this election. And because the home office of APC has no business interfering with the process of primary when it comes to gubernatorial election, Senate, House of Rep, and presidency. And so there is a secretariat, but the entire team that came to Benin are under Hope Uzodinma and Basi Otu, governors of Cross River and governor of Imo. And either committee also has about 6 or 7 other members. So when it was time for the announcement, collation and announcement, that was when Hope will go there. When they saw that there was an announcement of a particular local government result, that was what aroused Hope's curiosity. What is happening here? And trying to find out, they discovered that somebody called Stanley Ugboaja was already giving out figures of an election that was still going on.
But Kasim, how possible is it? Your story, I'm trying to understand it. How possible is it that the APC in Edo State will secure a venue for an important activity that is so politically charged as the collation of the results of the primaries in the state, direct primaries, and whether it's too early in the day or not, that the exco of the party, the officials, all the aides of Hope Uzodinma will not secure that place and make sure that everything is in. And anyone, maybe Ugboaja, as you mentioned, will just go there, put up a banner, have policemen around, have media sit down and announce results.
You seem to be a stranger in Nigerian politics.
No, I'm sure this no problem. No problem. What I'm saying is this: you're saying that it was too early.
Allow me.
You're saying it was too early for Hope Uzodinma. So how come? Yeah, go on, Kasim. I can hear you now. All right, we have a network challenge.
This is not. Can you hear me? You have had scenarios.
Yeah, we're having some challenges with the network with you.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah. We can hear you now. Yes. Please go on.
Yes, we have had scenarios where people, are sent to disrupt party primaries process. We've had scenarios where people, for ulterior motive, who want to disrupt the process and will be working from answer to question. We have had several scenarios, and this is one of such scenarios where somebody was trying to ambush a process. I said it earlier, ambush a process for which it was not detailed by virtue of the the terms of reference contained in their letters. Ugboaja was not given any letter. I told you that his name was listed in the secretariat.
Oh, Kasim, are you there? Kasim Efegba, do we have you, please?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, yes. Okay, so sorry, we had some network challenges with you. Who was named in that committee as the returning officer for the primary? Not chairman of the committee this time, but the returning officer for the primary.
See, you seem not to be listening to me. The letter accorded each person. Stanley Ugboaja was supposed to be a member of the secretariat committee of the party. That is secretariat from the national office. That was his responsibility. It was not detailed. If you tell him to show you his letter of returning as a returning officer, he won't see anything to show you. He ambushed the process because they had planned to disrupt the flow of the outcome of that particular exercise. So Hope Uzodinma, as chairman of the process, was specifically detailed to be the one that will announce the result. And that was why you had the publicity secretary of the party said unauthorized announcement of result is not permitted because the person who has the sole authority to do the announcement was Hope Uzodinma. And he issued a disclaimer immediately. And that was why they abducted, they took away Stanley Ugboaja to the home of an aspirant to go and continue declaration. So if he was doing a job for which he was sent, he won't go to somebody's house. But he was doing a job that was scripted for him, but he became a bad actor. That was what happened. But the party has taken judicious note of that. An investigation has commenced as we speak. And proper sanctions and disciplinary measures will be meted out to him. and those who sent him to go and cause national embarrassment to the APC.
But you're confirming that Lodgeville Hotels and Suites was the venue communicated to INEC. Well, they are saying that they will only take a result that was of a collation that was conducted there. We'll be back. We have some more questions for you. We'll be right back. Kasim, please hold the thought. We'll be right back. We'll be right back. Let's take a break now for those of you watching. Stay with us. Welcome back. We still have a conversation on the situation with the All Progressives Congress in Edo State. I want to just ask a final question to Stanislaus, Paul Stanislaus, lawyer with us, who joins us via video link. Paul, how do you think this situation will affect the fortunes of the APC in September when the governorship election will hold?
I would have thought that would be a question for the politicians like Mr. Afebwa here, because I'm not a politician. So my own angle is to talk from the legal point of view. But be that as it may, of course, a house, that is divided in itself is likely not to be able to put up a strong presentation at the elections. So if this continues like this, I think it's going to spell a serious problem for the political party, and it will even be worse if the aggrieved parties are not pacified and begin to take equal action in court. Once it enters the arena of litigation, you know that it can go any way. So I think that the political party needs to take immediate action to see how they can have it resolved. This is politics now.
All right. Paul, thank you. Kasim, what do you think the outcome will be? I mean, I don't expect you to say your party will be affected, but are you concerned ahead of the governorship election in September?
Machineries that we put in place to resolve whatever road conflict, ambush that was carried out. The party has already met and they're already fine-tuning processes to ensure that they resolve all of that. But you were trying to ask a question about INEC saying that it is what was announced as somewhere that.
Yeah, very briefly, please. Yes, very briefly.
INEC role in party primaries is just observatory. And that observatory does not carry the weight of law. So they shouldn't overindulge themselves as if they are our masters. We are partners in progress. If the law provides that they can observe party primaries and make observations, it is only when they are subpoena, that they can make their report.
All right, Kasim, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's good to have had you, Kasim Afebwa, to clarify, some of the issues that have been a bit murky for us. Kasim Afebwa and Paul Stanislaus. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we talk about the cost of living protests that we've seen emerging in different parts of Nigeria. Stay with us.